Welcome back to the Ancestral Findings podcast. Today, we're going to step into one of the most remarkable theaters in America, an open-air stage where thousands of people gathered under the stars to watch grand musicals and operas. This wasn't Broadway or Hollywood. This was St. Louis, Missouri, and the place was called the Municipal Opera, or simply the Muny. The postcard I'm holding shows a summer night in Forest Park. The seats are packed, the stage glows with light, and music is filling the air. If you've ever been to a live performance, you can almost imagine yourself sitting there in that crowd. This card isn't just a souvenir. It's a snapshot of a city celebrating art, community, and tradition. Let's learn more. This postcard is a linen type, probably printed in the 1930s or 1940s. It was published by E.C. Kropp of Milwaukee and sold in St. Louis by the Session Merchandise Company. Like many linen cards, it's bold and colorful, with that textured ink that makes the lights in the crowd pop off the paper. On the back, there's a printed caption that gives us a sense of how St. Louis wanted the world to see this theater. It says, "The fame of St. Louis's Municipal Opera has spread throughout the world, and visitors come thousands of miles to witness this glamorous spectacle. Night after night throughout the summer, distinguished stars present popular musical attractions in a beautiful al fresco theater in the heart of Forest Park." It's the kind of proud description that tells you exactly what this card was meant to do: promote the city and its culture. The story of the Muny goes back to 1919. Forest Park was already famous, having hosted the 1904 World's Fair, one of the largest international events of its time. By the 1910s, civic leaders wanted to keep St. Louis on the cultural map. Their answer was to build a permanent outdoor theater where people could gather for music and performance. Construction happened fast, just 49 days from start to finish. The very first performance was Verdi's Aida, staged in June of 1919. It set the tone for what the Muny would become: grand productions under the stars, open to everyone. Accessibility was key. Tickets were priced so ordinary families could attend. More importantly, thousands of free seats were set aside for every single show, a practice that continues to this day. The Muny became a place where anyone in the city, rich or poor, could enjoy the arts. The postcard's front image shows what that looked like. Imagine sitting in the audience, surrounded by thousands of people, programs rustling, conversations buzzing, children wide-eyed at the size of the stage. Then the orchestra begins to tune, the lights dim, and the show begins. In that instant, thousands of strangers are united by the same story, the same music, the same moment. The Muny quickly grew into the largest outdoor theater in the United States. At its height, it seated nearly 12,000 people, more than many modern sports arenas. The scale was unmatched. And unlike most theaters, which were confined to buildings, this one had the night sky as its ceiling. Although opera was in its name, musicals became the Muny's main attraction. Showboat, Oklahoma, My Fair Lady, Carousel, South Pacific, The Music Man, they all graced the stage here. But the variety was wide. Operas, ballets, and concerts also filled the summer seasons. The stars came too. Cary Grant, Bob Hope, Ethel Merman, Debbie Reynolds, Carol Burnett. Many of the biggest names in entertainment appeared at the Muny. For some, it was their first chance to perform before an audience of this size. For others, it was a highlight of an already famous career. All of this took place in Forest Park, one of the largest urban parks in the country, even bigger than Central Park in New York. Forest Park had already proven it could host millions during the 1904 World's Fair. By the 1920s and 1930s, it was home to the St. Louis Zoo, the Art Museum, and the History Museum. Adding the Muny turned it into a complete cultural center. A visitor could spend an entire day surrounded by art, science, history, and then cap it off with a musical under the stars. That's why postcards like this were made. In the 1930s and 1940s, postcards were the way cities bragged. They were little billboards that travelers could carry in their pockets and send across the country. If you received this postcard, you'd know that St. Louis wasn't just a city of factories and rivers. It was a city of culture, music, and community. I like this postcard because it captures more than a building. It captures people. Look closely at the crowd. You can see the different colors of clothing, the packed rows of seats, the energy of being there. It's not just about the performance, it's about being part of something larger than yourself. The Muny has lasted through more than a century of change. It survived the Great Depression, 2 world wars, and countless cultural shifts. Yet the tradition continues. Every summer, thousands still gather in Forest Park for live musicals. Families bring food, kids wiggle in their seats, and the stage lights once again glow against the night sky. The free seats are still there, a symbol of what made this theater special from the start. For many St. Louis families, the Muny isn't just a place to see a show. It's a tradition passed from one generation to the next. Grandparents who sat in the audience as children bring their grandchildren today. That kind of continuity is rare in American life, and it's part of what makes the Muny unique. That's why this postcard matters. It's not just paper. It's a reminder of a living tradition. It shows us the pride of a city, the joy of gathering outdoors, and the magic of music shared in the open air. That's today's look at a postcard from the past. History isn't just about battles or politics. It's also about moments like this, when people came together to celebrate life through art and community. And if you have any old postcards laying around your house, I'd love to see them. You can send them my way. Just go to the contact link on ancestralfindings.com and let me know, and I'll share my address with you. Maybe your postcard will become part of my collection, and who knows? It might even show up in a future episode of the Ancestral Findings podcast. If you've got a hard-to-find ancestor you're stuck on, I'd love to hear about it. Just head over to ancestralfindings.com and click on Contact to send me a message. While you're there, take advantage of our free weekly genealogy lookups, explore thousands of articles, and enjoy hundreds of podcast episodes. We've been helping family history researchers since 1995. And if you're looking for even more, check out our Genealogy Gold Q&A series over on Patreon. Thanks for listening, and as always, happy searching.